It's Bryan, your lunatic friend. You ever get the impression that God might be deliberately sabotaging your efforts? Now, why would he do that? Sometimes I get the feeling that God is calling me to be General Custer at the Little Bighorn, because he wants me to be humble and give him all the glory. He never speaks to me when I'm sitting there going, well, I'm waiting. No, the beginning of his sentence usually interrupts the middle of mine. I was talking to a friend of mine about our search for significance, and that feeling we have that we're not significant to anyone significant. When did we start believing that we had the ability to create our own royal robes of righteousness? I mean, it's not like we were the only ones that ever looked at ourselves in the king's court, started speaking in the devil's version of speaking in tongues, where you hear stuff like, IShuldAGotta. So now we all wait for the interpretation, I should have got a better position, or I should have got a mention in the credits. I mean, look at James and John, some of Jesus' own D-apostles. And I only call them D-apostles because they felt like they deserved to be apostles. And here you can mark the words of the book of Mark, where James and John prayed the most dangerous prayer you could possibly pray to God. They came to Jesus and said, we want you to do for us whatever we ask. And Jesus says, oh yeah? What's that? And they say, it's nothing really. It's just that when you take the throne in your new kingdom, we want to sit on either side of you. Now the Bible doesn't say that Jesus rolled his eyes, but I'm pretty sure he did. And without giving them the details, he said, you don't know what you're asking for. I imagine it's the same cluelessness that Adam had in the Garden of Eden when Eve hands him that apple and he says, yeah, I'd kind of like to hit that. Because think of what I could do if I had more of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And you gotta hand him to him for one thing. He was significant because his contribution to the human race is still talked about today. But I don't know. I don't think I'd like to be the downfall of all of humanity like he was. I think I'd rather be insignificant than infamously significant. And there's a nutshell sermon right there. You might remember that story about Gideon in the Bible, where at God's command he puts together an army of about 36,000 men, and he's facing an enemy 10 times that size, and God tells him that his army is too big. Has him send everybody home but 300 guys. Personally, I wouldn't see that as God talking to me. And here's where I'd be thinking, God's just setting me up for failure. But what he's really doing is showing me what he can do without my help. And right now, I'm not even in charge of anybody. I'm just your friend on the back row, and it's just me and you here at nutshellsermons.com/support. And thanks for supporting what I'm doing here, because you know that I'm not just swinging my own sword.